believe that billions of dollars are going to flow into PulseChain, and I'm going to explain exactly the reason why I think so, right? Now, the first thing is that I think PulseChain is going to be dominant in the DeFi space. I think it's going to be the biggest DeFi blockchain out there. Now, the reasons are simple, right? I take a lot of learnings from Hex. Now, Hex had a big problem of gatekeeping, and this problem was a big problem because it meant that Hex did not have the visibility that other cryptocurrencies have. But as a result of this gatekeeping, Hex didn't have any major exchange listings. Hex was really kind of not properly put in the right place on data aggregators, so we didn't have that exposure. But as a result of no exchange listings, of no support from any of the major centralized companies in the crypto space, Hexicans were forced to use decentralized finance tools, right? So Hexicans were forced to use decentralized exchanges. Hexicans were forced to maybe do peer-to-peer trades. And if you look at it, if you think about it, right, the gatekeeping allowed Hexicans or enabled Hexicans to do exactly what cryptocurrencies were meant to do in the first place. Cryptocurrencies were meant to be peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer trading on decentralized finance was the vision, was the future of DeFi. And that's exactly what Hex became. Now, on another level, if you look at how Richard Hart has really championed self-custody of your assets, really championed DeFi, really championed all these decentralized finance tools like decentralized exchanges, he's always consistently pushing that. And all of those things have made Hexicans big power users when it comes to DeFi. Right now, if you take a look at Hex is one of the top assets that pay a large amount of fees on Uniswap for trading because people are buying it on chain, right? Hex staking, it uses a lot of gas. One of the users of it, because people are using it on the blockchain. People are not going to stake, for example, their Hex on centralized exchanges like what other assets have, right? Some assets, a lot of them have these centralized players that can help you stake it, that can help you earn your yield, and they hold your keys for that. Hex doesn't have that. As a result, we've got high power users, and I think that this is going to continue. That trend is going to continue. We're going to continue to have high power users, and we're going to continue to onboard high power users, making us a dominant force in DeFi. Now, I say this again for this reason, right? If you look at the majority of trading of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, of other cryptocurrencies, it's all done on centralized exchanges. So they cannot become DeFi powerhouses when all the action is happening on a centralized exchange. They're not going to become DeFi power bases under those circumstances. So because of that, I think we're going to be massive power players. And if you look at the onboarding that Hexicans do, they onboard people to use on-chain stuff. And the onboarding is phenomenal. If you look at the marketing campaigns that have happened, that have happened historically by Hexicans, sending out mail, supporting a car racing competition, supporting different sports, all of that stuff, supporting boxing matches, making YouTube channels, right? We've seen phenomenal support. So all of that onboarding we're not onboarding people to a centralized entity, we're onboarding people onto the blockchain where they have custody of their assets. So I think for those reasons, a lot of big players are going to start to see the value there. But I don't think that they will see it quickly. I don't think that they'll start to see that value quickly. I think that retail is going to lead this revolution. As retail starts pouring more and more capital, I think also institutions will start to see that maybe there's something going on here. And all that more capital will be flowing into the space. More capital will be flowing in the space. Now, the second reason why I think that we're going to have massive amounts of capital flowing in the space is obviously when you have massive amounts of users and you have massive amounts of capital coming in, you also attract a lot of developers. And the big advantage that we have is PulseChain is a fork of Ethereum. That means we are EVM compatible, right? So the majority of all Ethereum developers are essentially PulseChain developers as well, right? There's no learning curve, which is different for like Solana, right? You need to learn a whole new programming language. But with Ethereum, all the standards that have been built up to now, we can benefit from them. And we can benefit from what they're building right now. Because Ethereum is still the largest ecosystem in terms of developers. So the fact that we're most likely going to have an influx of people who are hardcore DeFi users, and then we have a massive developer base. I think that's going to attract even more capital as well. Because one of the things is this, right? I do think it will take time. Because if you look at it, right, I'll give you an example of Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain has a lot of transactions happening right now. But a lot of Ethereum developers were a little bit slow to kind of embrace Binance Smart Chain. I mean, only now Ethereum, Uniswap had a proposal, should we jump on the Binance Smart Chain? And the proposal was approved. I don't know where they are in terms of jumping on Binance Smart Chain, but it's years for them to jump onto Binance Smart Chain. So I think that a lot of the mainstream developers on ETH are going to take time, but over time, as they realize that a lot of the users that they want on PulseChain, I think that they will start to jump on as well. Now, obviously, there's the fact that PulseChain is definitely much more can handle more transactions than Ethereum, right? So it kind of does scale Ethereum. It's not that much, but it has the capacity to have more transactions as well. Now, as another thing is obviously the bridges. We now have massive bridges now that can allow us to actually move from different blockchains. I think that's going to be more intensified over time, so you'll be able to do a lot of action on PulseChain. Another thing is this, right? The community, guys, the community as it is right now. If you look at how community was able to build tools for Hex initially, right? We had Hex.vision, Stake Hex today, so many applications that were built, Staker app, a lot of stuff that was built. And right now we start to see a lot of that action start happening, right? We see we've got PulseShib, we've got plsburn.com, which now allows you to buy PulseChain with fiat, which allows you to buy with different crypto assets as well, with no sign up, nothing. You can just go plug and play. So we see all this infrastructure being built at a fast pace. There's many blockchains that launched this year and maybe late last year. But we don't hear many stories about those blockchains. We don't hear any new tools being built about with those blockchains. And here we are, less than 1 month old, and we have all this development that is happening. And I think that it can only lead us to one way. It can only lead to billions of dollars flowing into the PulseChain ecosystem and pumping up the price. Now, okay, we've got to curb the enthusiasm, right? Because obviously we ought to understand that cryptocurrencies, nothing is guaranteed. So as exciting as this is, we also have to understand that there's risks involved in investing in cryptocurrencies, and nothing is certain, nothing is guaranteed. But this is exciting stuff. Looking at all of those fundamentals are like building blocks. And I think that they'll send us to higher prices. A bull run is near. We are in this accumulation phase. We are in a phase of accumulating. So I think it's a good time to be accumulating right now. And obviously, the good old rule, don't invest more than what you're willing to lose. And that saying is said for a reason, because there is potential of so you gotta be sober minded in that sense. But I think that we're at the right point in the crypto space right now, with accumulation. And I think that this whole year is going to be that. This whole year is going to be accumulation. And then next year, I think we're starting to get into gains territory. We're starting to gain into more exposure of the crypto, of all of crypto, and attracting. And during that time, it's easier for new people to be onboarded. But all in all, exciting stuff. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree with, and let me know what you disagree with. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.